Welcome back to the video series of the object-oriented programming with the Java. Our today's topic for this particular video, that is the array and the math class. I am your instructor Mr. Ankit Patel. So let's start with the outlines of the today's lecture. So the first outline for this particular video, that is the array, and next that is the math class. So I will explain you all the types of the array as well as what are the different methods available in the math class. So let's start with the first one, that is the array. So what do we mean by the array? So array, it is a collection of variable with the same data type. So if you have want to declare an integer of array, you can declare it float of array, double of array, but all the array means what? It is a collection of variable with the same data type. So here these are the different types of the array. The first one, that is a single dimensional array. Next, that is a multi-dimensional, or you can say two-dimensional or multi-dimensional array, and the last one, that is the ragged array. So let's start with the first one, that is the single dimensional array. So here the syntax of the single dimensional array, that is we need to declare first of all data type, then name of the array, that is equals to new data type and size of the array. So this is the first syntax. Either you can also choose a second option, that first declare the array, then you can initialize or you can define the size of the array next. So this is the syntax of the single dimensional array. Now next one, that is the multi-dimensional array. Same as the multi-dimensional array syntax, that is you can declare a two-dimensional array here with the row and column size. So again in this two-dimensional array, we have the two options is there. First one you can declare, and then later on you can define the size of the row and column. So this is the syntax. I will show you the live programming of the array and its all types. So this we will discuss in our programming session. But next type of the array, that is the ragged array. Now what is ragged array? So normally the two-dimensional array that has a fixed number of row and column size. Suppose if you are declaring the array like 3 cross 2, all the 3 row have the fixed size of the 2 element only. But the ragged array means what? So it is an array that with the more than one dimensional and has a different size. Each dimension has a different size. So basically there is a no requirement that all the row in two-dimensional array have the same size. So an array with the row of non-uniform length is known as an ragged array. So these are the types of the array. I will explain you with the program. Now same as the next topic, that is the math class. Now in math class we are using the different method available in the math class, and again it is a part of the java.lang, so no need to import any package. So math class contain the method for the performing the basic numerical operation. So suppose if you want to find the minimum, maximum, power, or you get to find out the square root of any number, etc. There are the lots of method available in the math class. So I will also explain all the method of the math class with the example. So let's start the programming. Now in today's programming session, I will show you the example of the array and the math class. So firstly, I will explain about the array, how to execute the array program, and what is the syntax of the array. So normally there are the two types of array, single dimensional array and the two dimensional array. So first I will show you the example of the single dimensional array, then I will show you the example of the two dimensional or multi-dimensional array, and last I will show you the example of the ragged array. And the last topic of the programming, that is the math class. So let's start the programming. First I will create the class, that is the test class test, then our main, that is a public static void main, and I will pass the string of args, that means the string of array. Now I am declaring the one single dimensional array So this is the syntax of the single dimensional array, that is equals to new int of 5. That means the 5 element of array is created. Now suppose if you want to initialize the array element, so what we can do this, we have the two option. Either we can declare like this, array of 0 is equals to 10, then array of 1 is equals to 20, and array of 3 is equals to 30. So this is the first way for the array initialization. Now second way of array initialization, suppose if you don't want to assign the size of the array, here you don't want to assign, so just remove it and directly initialize the array element in the curly braces. So I am removing these three lines and I am initialize the value here 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So this is the easiest way to initialize the array. So now suppose if you want to print the array element, then we can use a loop. For looping I have already explained in my last video that how to execute the if else, that means the control structure statement and the looping statement. So here I am using the for loop. In a for I am just using the variable integer I is equals to 0. Why we are starting with the 0? Because array index is start with the 0. I is less than what are the number of element in the array, that is a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here the element size is a 5. So I am just writing here 5, then I plus plus. Now if you want to print the data, then just write down system.out.println, and what you can pass in this array, that is an array of I. Here I, that is our index. Now same, suppose if you run this code, then obviously this will be print the 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So let's run this code. Java C, my class name, that is a test.java. I have already saved this program test. So this will show the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So now here suppose if you change the size of the array, like suppose if I am pass like 60, 70. So suppose then the array size is now the 7. So you need to change the condition in the for loop. Now you can write down here 7. But each and every time when the array size is changed each and every time, then the simple way to write the condition, that is the a dot length. That means the array dot length. Here array dot length you can just write down like this. Just don't do this bracket because length is not a method of array. It is a simply a variable. So array dot length, so this will directly get the size of the array and this will execute. I will show you the output again. This will print the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So you can use this for the array. So this is example of the single dimensional array. Now what about the multi-dimensional array? What about the two-dimensional array? So I will show you the example of the two-dimensional. So for two-dimensional array, again the syntax is like you need to write down the just 2 square bracket, that is equals to new int of whatever the size of row and whatever the size of column. I am just writing the 3 cross 2, that means the total how many value, 3 into 2, 6 value we need to initialize it. We can also supply the value as a dynamically, but for dynamic session I will show you I will prepare you a next video for the dynamic programming. So now dynamic programming means you can enter the value at a runtime whenever you are run the program in a command prompt, or you can use a different way. Now here I want to initialize the array, like suppose if I am writing like here a of 0 0, that is equals to 10, a of 0 1, because here there are the 3 row is there and only 2 column is there. So 0 1, that is equals to 20, and that is a ARR, our array name. Now here the first row is completed. Now start with the second row, that is a array of 1 0, that is equals to 30, array of 1 1, that is equals to 40, array of 2 0 that is equals to 50 and array of 2 1 that is equals to 60. So I have initialized the two-dimensional array. Now if you want to print the data of the two-dimensional array, so again you need to use the loop, but here single loop it is not enough, we need to use a nested loop, that is a loop contain another loop. So here I am just writing integer I is equals to 0 array dot length. So here the array dot length will return the size of the row I plus plus. I am using another loop, that is the for j loop, integer j is equals to 0, j is less than. Now here what we need to pass, we need what we want to get, that we want the size of the column. You can directly write down here 2, this is a valid, but now I am writing just right like that, array of I dot length. So this will return the length of the row, and I am just write down like this, array of a of ij. So this will print the our whole array. So what is the use of the two-dimensional array? You can use for the operation of the matrix, like if you want to add a two matrix, if you want to multiply the two matrix, transpose two of the matrix. So for that we mostly we are using the two-dimensional array. So now if you run this code again, I am compile it with, first of all here it will generate because I have missing some semicolon. So whenever you compile it will rise an error if you have mistake some, if you have some mistake in your code, then Java test. So this will print like this. Now suppose if you want to print in a matrix form, so just write down here, just write down only a print, not print ln, and in outside of the first loop just write down the print ln. So this will show the first element, the first row element in a first row, second row element in a second row, third row element in a third row. Now let's run it again. So this will show in the form of the matrix. The output will show in like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So if you need to add some space, so just concatenate with the space. Just write like this. And if you run and compile it again, so this will show some different output like. So this output will be shown in the form of the matrix. So now our next topic, that is the ragged array. Now what do you mean by the ragged array? Now in two-dimensional array it is called as an uniform array, means 3 cross 2, 3 cross 3 or else m cross n matrix is there. Here the number of row or the element in the each and every row are the same element. Like if you are writing like 3 cross 2, so in row number 1, row number 2 and row number 3, all three contain only the two elements. But suppose if you are talking about the non-uniform array, in my first row only one element is there, in my second row 3 element is there, in my third row 5 element is there. So this is called as a not uniform array, it is called as an rag array. So I will show you the example. The example is same as the last one, but what I am changing, I am not initialize here passing the number of column because each and every column has a different size. So for that again I am declaring like this, here the array of 0. So first row size is integer of, I am passing only 1. Now for the second row, array of 1 that is equals to new, I am passing the size that is a 2. Second row contain 2 element and the third row that contain the 3 elements. So here what we need to pass, a of 0 0 that is equals to 10. I am just passing only a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Here the first row contain only 0 0. Now what about the second row, that is a 1 0 that is equals to 2. Next that is a 1 1 that is equals to 3. So first row contain only one element. I am just entering giving a space between these two. Second row contain the two element. That's why I am reiterating. And third row, that is the row number 2. 2 0, 2 1 and 2 2. So here the each and every row has a different size of element, different number of element. First row contain one element, second row contain two element, and third row contain a three element. So now if you print this result, this array is called as a non-uniform array because the code is same as a two-dimensional array. I am not changing this code. The code is same as a two-dimensional array. Here the first row, that is size is array dot length first loop, that is a total number of row and the size of the first row. That's why I am writing a array of I dot length. Now if you run this code, test.java, then java test, so this will show the output like this in a pattern form. You can see the triangle. I am not using the with the simple pattern coding. I am using array. You can print this output. So using array, if you want to print this type of output, you need to use the concept that is called as an rect array. Now the last topic of this our session, that is the math class. So I am just removing this line because math class is the inbuilt class using that line, and it is a part of the java language, so no need to import any package. So suppose if you want to print, or you suppose if you want to find out the minimum maximum number of the any program, so just write down like system.out println. Just directly you can call a math class, because math class variable and the method, all the method and variable are the static method. So no need to create the object of the math class. So here suppose if you want to print the pi or value of the pi, so just write down system.out.println pi. I will show you again the output. Java C test.java, and sorry I have mistake, the some spelling mistake here. System.out.println. So you can see the output of the here 3.14, that is the value of the pi. Now you can also use a different method of the math class. I am just copy pasting. Suppose if you want to use a minimum maximum, so you can just directly write out the mean method. In main that is a part of the math. So math dot mean, in bracket just write down the 10 comma 50. So here suppose if you want to print the max value, so just write down here the max. So all these three I am just writing in double quote, so that's why you can understand what is the output of the program. So here I am just writing here mean is equals to like this, plus is a concatenation sign, and max is equals to, you can use. Now if you run this code again, you can see test.java, and then you can print it like, you can see the output 3.14, minimum value that is a 10 and maximum value that is a 50. So this is example of the math class. I will show you again the different method of the math class. So these are the example of the math class. Again you can see here, I have first line I am printing the value of e, in the second line I am printing the value of the pi, in third line I have printed the absolute value of the a. What is the absolute value of the a? That is a 10.7 is there. You can print the absolute value of it. Sale value of floor value of the a. Now cos, that is a cosine value of the a, and hyperbolic cosine value of the a. And similarly for the hyperbolic simple sine value and simple hyperbolic value of the sine. You can also print the logarithm value, max, mean, power, and SQRT. Same I will also run this code. You can see the output. This name is different, that is a math demo dot java, java math demo dot yes, you can see the output. Here I have printed, I am just slightly moving this slide. So here you can see the e value first, that is print the e value, second that is print the pi value, next that is the absolute value of this a. Here the positive value is there, that's why it show only the 10.7, sale value that is 11, floor value that is a 10, normal cos value, hyperbolic of the cosine value, then same as the sine and hyperbolic of the sine, log value of theirs, maximum minimum value, power, that is I am passing the a raised to b, that 10.7 raised to 5.5, the answer will be printed like this, and SQRT of the a, that is SQRT of the 10.7. So this is the example of the math class. So you can use a mathematical function. If you want to use a mathematical method different way, so directly you can use, just write down the math dot its variable as well as its method. So no need to import any package in the math class. So in today's session, I have show you the example of the array as well as the example of the math class. So this is the end of our programming session. So thank you very much. If you have any doubt, you can feel free to ask me. Thank you very much.